Shalom to the community of Shomrei Torah in Fairlawn. It's so good to be coming to you on what is a quieter day here in Yerushalayim, and just some ideas to share with you as we go into a Shabbat that is 1 week from the Shabbat in which everything changed, in which we awoke to a nightmare of unparalleled proportions, and we're still reeling from it, obviously, as everyone's following so intently. We know the position we're in, and we know this is far from over. But just an idea as we're beginning Breishit, and Breishit is designed to be a time where we have new beginnings. We just got out of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Simchat Torah. We're supposed to be starting a new year together, a new cycle of Torah reading, a new cycle of bettering ourselves. And this is not how anyone expected for us to begin the new year. So as we began Breishit, it seemed as though there was a lot, just even in the first couple psukim, in the first couple of verses, that we had so much to relate to. This idea of tov vavo v'choshech al pnei tehom, that the world was in chaos and emptiness, and this darkness prevailed over the land, and even the idea of vayhi erev vayhi boker, that we start in darkness and then it goes into light. And I was really trying to find a way to describe this internal struggle that we're having, and all of us are having all over the community, all over the world, certainly here in Israel. And I found just this one idea that's brought forward by the Kli Yakar and the Medrash of this darkness that God allowed, that began with the world. The world began in darkness, v'choshech al pnei tehom, and then later a light was brought forward. So the Kli Yakar, amongst others, discusses this idea that when chaos ensues, when we see exactly what we saw last Shabbat of unfathomable events taking place, the Kli Yakar posits and says that every once in a while the world will return to that darkness, the world will return to that chaos, and it's cited in multiple places, but certainly what we see in Yirmiyahu as well, discussing the chaos that ensues after the destruction of Yerushalayim, and we're feeling that now. We're feeling that chaos, that darkness, that every time we're looking at the news, there's so much trauma and tragedy and crisis. It's all as though we aren't, our neshamot, our souls, our minds, our emotional ability can't even understand and take in all that's going on. But the Medrash continues, and the Kli Yakar continues quoting the Medrash, saying that it's true that every once in a while this chaos comes back and this darkness prevails, but that's also why God created light. And he brought forward this light, says the Medrash, because of the acts of the righteous, because of the good deeds, the greatness that so many people are going to do in response to that darkness. And that's why we say vayher vayboker, that the light overall will prevail, the light will ensue. And although we're going through this tremendously tragic time, and there's very horrific news and images and videos being shared on, if you look around the world, you can't help but feel a tremendous sense of pride from the amount of chesed being done, the unbelievable amount of support being given to soldiers, to families that were forced to relocate, to families whose loved ones were were called up to the front lines, and that's really what allows us to keep us going. And while it's an internal struggle of not knowing how to feel, this sense of pride, the sense of happiness of being able to support one another in such a pure way. The soldiers I speak to on the front lines are saying that they've never eaten better in their lives. They've never felt so much support, and they're so convinced and feel that they are correct in what they're doing in defending Israel and defending their families. And they feel that every day, and there's no sense of fear. There's a sense of, I'm doing what's right, I'm doing what's needed for my people, and it's a tremendous chutz. And they all tell me, like, we're gonna win. Don't even worry about it. We're absolutely gonna win. This is on us. We got this. And it's very hard to fathom, but just for us to be able, as a community, as a global Jewish community, to come together and the support that we're feeling. And I'm so appreciative of Rabbi Markowitz and all the communities, and certainly in Fairlawn, the tefillot, the care packages, the letters that are being written to families and chayalim and soldiers here is really felt. And a friend of mine messaged me with a picture of all these Costco products and said, you can tell the American community that we feel their love, that we're getting their care packages. So it's a tremendous amount of thanks. And while we're starting Breishit, we're starting a new cycle. It's not necessarily the cycle that everyone would have thought of. And there are certainly people who are starting the new year with empty seats at their Shabbat table, who are starting their year in mourning, sitting Shiva, going to funerals, losing friends, or being called up on the front lines for an indeterminate amount of time. There are also people who are starting their year with a greater connection to Torah, to Judaism, to their family, to Eretz Yisrael, to Am Yisrael, to being Jewish and their own identity. And in that, we can definitely take a pride in the resilience of our community and how much we come together during this time, and the achdut that we feel. So God willing, we should all be blessed to continue growing, to continue providing that light for however long it's needed, for however long we can. And your efforts are so greatly appreciated. And God willing, we should only continue to share in good times together. And we're so appreciative of the goodness that you all bring to the world. God willing, we should only share in good times. Shabbat Shalom.